Hey guys, what is going on? Sai here and welcome back yet again to another Gran Turismo 7 setup video for the channel. Today guys, we've got the grandfather of all electric or hybrid cars, the Toyota Prius G 2009. This is a fully maxed out setup with some PP limited setup guys, and honestly this thing is pretty surprising and quite hard to drive in my opinion because the brakes on this thing are terrible. You cannot use engine braking at all or changing down to into a bend to try and lose those RPMs and so forth and try and bring that speed down to a halt. So braking distance is quite high on this thing and the handling is quite poor, especially when you reach 120 over 120 miles an hour. Then the handling characteristics of this car become a little bit unsettling, especially at high speeds. The rear end just doesn't seem to work, and you become driftkin. So yeah, that is something to look forward to driving this car. On lower speed tracks, anything under 100, 120 miles an hour, you do fine, except that you probably won't win any races with this car because it's so underpowered. It's only got 147 horsepower, maxed out. You can't really do anything to it. And with having only one gear as well, the acceleration is subpar. So yeah, this is basically one of those cars you just really want to drive around and tune, or have a laugh basically, and use it for that kind of reason. So looking at the statistics for this car, fully maxed out, it's really got just under 600 pp. Max power is 147 brake horsepower, and the max torque is 32.2, with the weight being 1053 kilograms, naturally aspirated. Can't do any turbos on this thing, which is kind of a shame, but here we are as it's a plug-in hybrid. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive in right into this episode. I've got quite a few setups for this car, so we've got maxed out setup, I've got 500 pp regulated setup and 450 pp regulated setup as well. So we start off with the maxed one. So for the maxed out setup, you want to equip yourself with racing soft tires. You want to go down to your suspension, fully customizable suspension, and your body height adjustment 85 all around. Anti-roll bar is 6 to 4. Damper ratio compression is 32 to 34. Damper ratio expansion is 48 44. Natural frequency is 2.90 and 2.70. Negative camber 0.5 all around. Toe angle is in 0.10 and in 0.30. For the differential, it's now there's two options. You can run without the differential and have it on normal. That increases the PP slightly, and as you guys can see, it increases your handling as well a little bit. Unfortunately, it becomes pretty much more unpredictable than the fully customizable PP. Uh, uh, customizable differential. Let me just go back to that one. So that is going to be. Let me go here. There we go. So that's changed it there, obviously, because it reset it. So for the initial torque, it's going to be 55 on that, just to try and minimize any unpredictability when this car is driving along. It is quite unpredictable, especially at higher speeds. Yeah, I was quite surprised to actually find this out, how undrivable it is at higher speeds. But there we are. So initial torque 55, acceleration sensitivity is at 20, and braking sensitivity is at 35. Now moving down to your aerodynamics, you want to set that to 75 there on your front. ECU 100, power restrictor 100. You can't do anything to the transmission, which is a shame. It would be nice to change the gear ratios a little bit, or the one gear ratio a little bit, to make it accelerate a little bit faster. For the performance upgrades, you will have the racing air cleaner, sports silencer. You can have any of these if you want. Actually, that was on race semi-racing, not sport, and that just literally is just sound dependent. I don't really see much performance differences on the silencers, to be fair, apart from sound, and then again, and sound and looks as well. Exhaust manifold racing, braking system racing, slotted disc, braking pads is racing, handbrake normal. Now your braking controller, you want to set that towards the rear at 2 to 3, just because of how this car brakes and drives, you want to try and make sure that you can still brake and turn at the same time, because the braking distance on this car is yeah, appalling. And then we go to your clutch and flywheel, which is on racing. And I don't think you can have propeller shaft on this carbon one. Nope, you cannot. And then you've got your engine tuning upgrades, which is what I've got installed here. Now moving down to your other PP setup. So if the 500 PP setup is exactly the same for your suspension, differential, aerodynamics, you want to change that to sports hard tires. And down to your performance adjustment, you want to have a ballast to 102 to bring that PP down to 500, and your ballast position to minus 35. That helps with the handling a lot with this car, and it's quite weird because you want to have a 50-50 weight distribution, not towards the rear, but somehow towards the towards the front. Uh, yeah, it just kind of works. Now moving down to your 450 pp setup, once again racing hard tires equipped, and then your ECU adjustment to 90%. That kind of gives it a little bit more of a better torque output as well, and retaining that power there as well. So your ballast at 127, ballast position at minus 35, and your power restrictor at 75. And that is pretty much all you want to do on that, and have a a sports silencer as well on that to fit it into the PP regulation. So yeah, that is it for the setups for the Toyota Prius, guys. I'm going to bring the maxed out setup on track and show you guys what this thing can do.